Hello everyone, welcome to Swift Nuggets, another episode related to WWDC. Last time we learned about Glassy effect and so on. And today I want to play around with the toolbar. And we're going to create a tab demo application with a few tabs and see how they look in the new iOS 26. I'm pretty curious. We'll jump into the code right away and see together how it looks. So before jumping into the source code, I prepared here a few screens. One this list. Don't mind the background, which doesn't extend to the edges, because we're going to try a few things out. I have a list of dummy items here, 10 items with some description, box, and a CTA with go to details, which opens up a detail screen, which has this back button by default. All right, I decided to structure the project in two folders here. Remember last time when we showcased the Glass Effect demos, I grouped the view inside this folder, Glass Effect demo, and I created another folder here for the things that I want to try out today, the things about the tabs and also the layout effects. And these have been grouped in this tabs demo. Basic application has an entry point, a SwiftUI application, and opens up the tab demo view right here. Let's open up the canvas. I think it'd be much faster this way. Right now, the tab demo view has only one view, which is a home view right here. It contains a navigation stack, main view. Let's refresh the canvas and wait for it to load. This main view contains the Z stack with a background view, which ignores the safe area, has a scroll view, and as part of the scroll view, if I go here, you see like it contains just one object content view with the navigation link. It's pretty straightforward. With the new API, you have the value details, and right here we provide the destination, for the string object which comes out of that. And in case the value is details, the string that I put here, it will open up the details view that we show here with the star and the details view. Cool. And the content is actually a VStack that has a for each in it. I put it hard-coded 10 elements here just to showcase the view. Some items here, pretty standard. On top you have a horizontal stack with a star and a title, a text, and the spacer right here to take up, to have it on the leading edge. And the description is a simple text with some font and some styling, some foreground style, color, essentially. And the details view, and this one has a VStack, an image. You have those grouped in the home folder. Don't mind the profile folder for now. I will explain in a bit what it is. Anyways, the details view contains the content view, which is a VStack, an image, and two text. And to have it on top, I created here a spacer. Nothing fancy. Let's go back to our home view. And what should we try first? I was thinking to try out the toolbar and place it on the navigation, on top navigation, to see how they look on this iPhone. So let's start with that. All right, so I'm going here in the main view to create a toolbar. You go .toolbar and create and use this modifier, and we can use the content right here. And as part of the content, we create the toolbar items. Now you can go and create them, but I prefer them grouped for the moment, so I will give them an ID. This will create a toolbar item with specified placement and content, which allows customization. Let's put here main toolbar and provide as a content. Let's put a text right now and see how it looks. All right, so here I can see a first text right now. Let's check out how it looks with a button. First, let's put the button called first with an empty action. We don't care now about the action. All right, so I see it here. Pretty cool. And let's create another one. This one, let's give it another ID. Second item. Sorry, this one should be first item. And let's put here. So let's put here second. I give them a couple of IDs. You see them here on right. And if I put here an ID, they will become grouped. Let's put ID main toolbar. Main toolbar. This will create a menu as far as I saw. All right, so you have these three dots, and if you tap on it, they will open a context menu right now, all with that new effects, animation effects, which are quite cool. And let's also create a third item, and here I would place third item. Okay, canvas reloaded. Okay, so I have third item. You see like the background, it's transparent. You see the CTA go to details, the button behind it, which is nice. All right, now let's go to the details view and try to put there some buttons. Let's see the animation. All right, so you see some kind of a animation behind it. Might be corrected in future iOS versions, in future beta versions, because it doesn't look quite good, from my opinion. The shadow stays for some time. But we'll see. Let's go to the details view now. I'm going to do the same, and I will create here a toolbar, but this time I won't put the ID of the toolbar, so we have all of those on the same line. And I'm going to create a few items. Let's put here an item, I don't know, let's put it, let's have it as an emoji, a text emoji. Let's put this one with glasses. I'll create 3 more. Let's put this one, and let's put this rock star emoji with the eyes on stars. Okay, and if I go to details, you see those emojis came up, and the effect, the animation is quite cool. I like it. You see, boom, very nice. And if we want some kind of a spacer between those items, we can say ToolbarSpacer. This is called. It's a standard space item in the behavior and placement. And you have 2 options: the sizing and also the placement. Placement can be the same as we have for the other toolbar items, I guess. Let's use the spacer sizing. We have 2 ways: fixed, when you have a fixed behavior, and this one will extend to accommodate the full width. I will select fixed here. I'm going to run, let's put it on run line and rebuild the application. Boom, and you have this emoji coming from the right, which is quite cool. I see a few paddings here. I'm not sure where they are coming from, but I'm not sure if it's a bug or I did something wrong with my configuration, but might be a bug in the end, or something like that. If I'm using a button, probably it would look better. Let's check. Okay, so if I'm using a button, you see it's got centered correctly. Probably the frame of the text is not correctly set over there. Anyways, all right, cool. We have our first first navigation bar with some cool effects. Quite enjoyable to watch. What else we can see? And we've used the spacer, which is a new thing, ToolbarSpacer, to put a space between these two. All right, at home we have this ignore safe area for the background view. If I remove it, we'll probably see not extending on the safe areas. It will chop, as you saw in the beginning on the simulator. It doesn't go over there. And one thing we can check, but this is more visible when you're on an iPad and you have a split view. We can use this background extension effect, which adds the background extension effect to the view. The background view, the view that you apply this modifier, will be duplicated, which will create some copies. and the operating system will render it behind it. It will extend to the edges, so you have a nice effect over it. Especially if you have like a split view menu on the left and it's more prominent, it would be good to have the background image. You probably have an image on the main view to extend besides that, below the sidebar. And you can use that. But as you can see, I'm not sure if it's visible in the video, you have a small line here which marks the navigation line. So I will still like to use this ignore safe area for, see, it's disappeared. I'm sure if that's visible. Cool. So we understood that about the background extension. What else we can see? We have a scroll view in this screen, and there are a few things we can check. And this scroll view is added in a Z stack, which has a bunch of play modifiers as well. I would like to check one modifier, which is called scrollEdgeEffectStyle. And here you have different options. You have automatic, you have hard and soft. And this is quite interesting. If I'm going to select here hard and let's put the top one. Let's see what effect we get. Maybe let's put the zoom. So if you scroll, you see we have a margin there, like over here, you see some kind of a line on the navigation, right? It's pretty visible, right? You can see, but if I'm going with soft, it's pretty blurry. You have this effect with very blurry. It's nice. It's soft, right? It's not that abrupt, edgy, and is very cool from my point of view. This will offer a better experience for your scroll view. And finally, let's create actually what our folder tells us. It's a tabs demo, but we don't have any kind of tabs. I've created here a dummy view, the profile view, which I will show you right in a second. Just to show a different tab, and I imagine like we have some kind of a profile view where we see some person information, email, some dummy text here. Nothing fancy. So let's create some tabs to our application. How can we do that? We can create here a tab view in the main tab. And right now we have the home view, one single tab. I'm curious how those tabs are going to look. Right, so first, inside the tab view, we need to create a tab, of course. And this tab takes a few parameters. It takes the title, an image, and the content. And of course, has different variations of the initializer. And here, sorry, I will put the system image because I'm using a system image, not the image. And run it, run the project. Let's check on the simulator what's happening. You see, I have the glassy effect on my views here. All right, so I have my first tab. Look at that. I have this glassy thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. And I have the blur effect right below. It doesn't look like a tab anymore. Something different. And this was the profile view that I mentioned with some basic information. This button doesn't do anything, but it's just to exemplify an application you'd have with multiple tabs. All right, cool. How cool is that? Okay, and I know we have a new modifier called tabBarMinimizeBehavior. And let's see what behaviors we have. On scroll down, on scroll up, automatic, and never. On scroll down, minimize the tab bar when downward scrolling starts. Let's try this one. Expect when reading that information that the buttons will be collapsed when I scroll down. I'm scrolling, and you can see the home tab bar item goes on the left, and if I scroll again, it will become as it was before. And I think one scroll up does the opposite. We can also have a TabViewBottomAccessory, and this will put on top of the tab bars a view, a custom view that you put here. You need a content for it, and I will create another emoji, this emoji, and have some kind of a padding to it. We have this accessory view. I put a button here in the TabView_Bottom_Accessory, and you see here this emoji, but you can create whatever custom view you want. And there are some behaviors. When we scroll up, this goes on the right, this gets collapsible. It's quite funny. And I would also like to check that search bar thing that was presented. Like, you can put a search bar. Let's create here a text binding text, and usually need to create a third tab with a search role. And we can create here, let's put another navigation stack with the text search. Imagine that you have a big list of results, and here we need to search things. And I'm curious how it will look. On the WWDC video, you had on the right the search function, the search button. Oh, and I need here to put dot search. Okay, it rendered here. We have the search. If I tap on it, it will bring that tab, and we need to do something with this text. We can put here at the tab view level, we can create a searchable modifier, and here we can put the binding for the text, and then we should have the result. We should have the searchable content. If I'm tapping on it, okay, I see here the text field where I can type. Let's see on a simulator how it looks. Okay, cool. Here we are. I'm scrolling. I see this accessory view got between those two. If I go up, it will go on top. If I tap on the search, all right, when the keyboard is up, I see here X close button on the right. If I start typing it, in it, see the default X, it will clear the text. If I go X, probably all right. And here with this icon, I can go back to my home screen. And if I go to profile, I can do the same. But now I don't go back to home, I go back to my previous screen. Okay. Nice, very nice. The tabs are looking good from my point of view. They are very cool and they look awesome. Of course, they are not. We should call them differently. I don't think tab is the right word, especially with the type items. Anyways, what we saw today, we added some toolbars over the elements. We created a nice tab demo application right here with 3 tabs, the home view. And as part of home view, we saw how we can add some navigation items on top. We can make them group together with identifiers. We can use a spacer if we want to put some padding elements, or if we want to put a spacer between those toolbars, we can do that. We can, of course, use here the scroll edge effect style that you saw on top. You get this blur effect, while the hard one you see it more prominent. And there's also that background effect style on the background view, where the SwiftUI clones your background and makes the image behind it, extend it to the right edges. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap up today. And finally, we saw how we can use the search by creating a binding to a text variable. And here we could put the searchable modifier. And with a tab that has the role search, we can see it in action, the new design of the search function. And we can use the tabBarMinimizeBehavior. You saw like the tab bar, when we scroll, it offers you a large portion of the screen. Imagine on a small device, you want that space. And you have different behavior, different animations. You can also place on top of your tab accessory view, where you could create some custom elements. And I think that's pretty much it. We will wrap up today. And for the next session, we're going to check new stuff added into SwiftUI. Plenty of other stuff that I want to try out together with you. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.